Have you recently heard about postbiotics and you're wondering, are they all hype or can they actually help improve your gut health? Or do you have things like bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation, and you're suspicious you might have something like gut dysbiosis and you're wondering if postbiotics might help your gut health? Or are you taking things like postbiotics, prebiotics, or probiotics? You're trying to find the best diet to help your gut symptoms, but your symptoms like bloating, acid reflux, abdominal pain, they aren't actually going away? If you said yes to any of these questions, this episode is for you. Today, we're going to be talking about postbiotics for gut dysbiosis. We'll be covering topics like what postbiotics are and how they differ from probiotics and prebiotics, possible ways postbiotics can help your gut and whole body health, where postbiotics might fail you or even make your symptoms worse, and my top recommendations for how to actually heal your gut based on what I'm seeing work for hundreds of men and women across the globe. It's time to learn how to heal your gut. Hey friend, welcome to the Better Belly podcast. If you're currently trying endless supplements, doctor visits, and diet changes to heal your mystery symptoms, you are in the right place. We're here to solve the real root causes behind your gut, hormones, skin, sleep, and brain concerns. Literally anything and everything in your body. My name is Allison Jordan. I'm a functional medicine practitioner that has supported over 150 clients just like you to heal problems that no one has been able to fix. You don't need a perfect diet or a random supplement you found on Instagram to heal. You need a proven system that heals your whole body from the inside out. That's what I'm here to share with you, episode by episode. It's time to make health easy again. And just as a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. I received this question from a podcast listener in my email recently. She said, hi, left her name, and she said she was reaching out because she wondered what my thoughts were on postbiotics for addressing gut dysbiosis. The product is newer that she's looking at, which makes her skeptical, and she does not know much about them. And you know what I decided? Let's make a podcast episode about it. So let's dig into this. What are postbiotics? And maybe, by the way, you're listening to this and you just like the podcast, you like me, but you've never heard the word before. Great, you're in for a treat. We're going to start at the very beginning. So postbiotics, I want you guys to think about some terms you probably have already heard of before. You have probiotics, prebiotics, now there's postbiotics. Now postbiotics the concept of postbiotics has been around for about 100 years. I did some history, guys, in researching for this episode, but only recently have someone attached this term postbiotics to the actual products that are the postbiotics themselves and selling it as it is kind of like a marketing thing, right? Like the concepts existed. We've actually had supplements that are postbiotics on the market for also like close to 100 years. Like a lot of these things that are actually postbiotics are just stuff that are in, some of them are in like multivitamins. Silly, but true. So it is just kind of a new word, and probiotics are, but just like what's encapsulating these ideas? Probiotics are the actual bacteria. Prebiotics are the bacteria food to feed your bacterial colonies. So fiber, things like fiber is a very common one. So you might see chicory root or inulin are two really common prebiotics. So if you are drinking there's pre and probiotic drinks now. If it says just prebiotic, usually it has things like chicory root and inulin in it, which interestingly, they have like a slightly sweet flavor to them. So it's really great because it's a natural sweetener that I believe they have no calories. Honestly, I've never paid attention. True, honest and true. But I believe they have low or no calories. So they're convenient to put in drinks. You might have a drink that's just prebiotic, meaning it just has the food to feed your colonies in your gut, which can be helpful. Or it might be also probiotics or only probiotics, meaning it actually has bacteria strains inside of it, the actual bacteria. And then postbiotics This is like, I didn't find this anywhere on the internet. The easiest way to call it is bacteria poop. It's not literally poop at all. But it's compounds produced by your bacteria. And they are compounds that we're identifying that there probably are, or there are known health benefits to the host. So some of the postbiotics are short chain fatty acids. Was not expecting that to be hard to say. SCFAs, short chain fatty acids. A really famous one is Butyrate. If you've heard about Butyrate, it's so helpful, and butter is high in Butyrate naturally. Like, guys, you've been eating postbiotics for like a long time. It's just like now they're selling it as a supplement. But not to laugh at you, like it can be compelling. And so I am going to get into it, but it's silly from me as I've been digging into postbiotics, because I've never taken a postbiotic, like at least like a pill, or like I've never bought a product that was marketed as postbiotics. So I was kind of like, okay, what's going on with what they're doing here from a marketing perspective? Because guys, a lot of health is about marketing, sadly, and it's part of why we're all so freaking confused. But vitamins, certain types of vitamins are produced by bacteria, so those can be considered postbiotics. Antimicrobial peptides are something that can be produced by bacteria and be considered postbiotics. And then also, interestingly enough, inactive, aka dead microorganisms and their components like cell wall fragments are also considered postbiotics. And they've literally been studied as like, how helpful are they helpful? And for the most part, there actually seems to be some evidence that there's like some sign that we don't even fully understand the mechanism, that literally just giving a host dead it's not going to come back to life, but dead like cell wall fragments or inactive microorganisms has some beneficial effect on the host, reducing inflammation. We don't even and the research I was trying to do on this is people are kind of saying we don't even fully understand the science behind it. It's just we are observing it. It's like, okay, that's a thing. So are postbiotics a new idea? Like maybe you're newly hearing of it. I'd say it's a concept. I'm not like, oh wow, I've thought about it for the last 10 years. 10 years. I've heard about it on and off for 2 or 3 years. Some people have probably known about it for a lot longer, but the scientific term postbiotic was released pretty recently in 2021, and it was officially defined in 2021 by the International Scientific Association for Probiotics and Prebiotics. I didn't know that group existed. ISAPP. Super funny. I guess now postbiotics, maybe they need to change their name. Postbiotics is in there, and they officially defined it in 2021. But the concept has existed for over 100 years, and we have commercial products dating back to 1907 for these types of products. So in 1907, there was the first commercial postbiotic, which was a heat-treated lactobacillus product. And then in the early 1900s, there was some work by a woman, Ellie, or actually it might be a man. I didn't check on this. It might be Eli, but Mechnikov on gut flora that laid the foundation for understanding how bacterial products, including dead ones, might interact with the gut. So it's like we've been thinking about it for a while, but somebody emailed, a podcast listener saw a product being marketed, probably an ad. And so what does the research say? I went and tried to find what's research is being done with postbiotics. And interestingly enough, most of the research I found was on animals, which I was a little bit less than pleased about, just because if you want to really have a firm concept that something works, you'd need to have some humans involved. But there was studies on watching how colon health was impacted in mice. There was some research done in labs. There was even some research done in the food industry, specifically, could postbiotics help preserve food naturally, which was really interesting. But there was not a lot of research that I could find on humans. So maybe y'all can find it better than I can, but I took some time to look into it, and after not bringing it up, I decided, well, maybe it's not there, and I moved on. So, but if you find some stuff, good for you. So next I went from, okay, they have animal studies and maybe even some food, like commercial food studies. No human stuff. What are people saying online about how they improve the situation with probiotics? So if you're basically you have some gut symptoms. I'm guessing this client has gut symptoms. She used the word gut dysbiosis, which is a very nondescript term. Not to throw shade on anyone. It's like we're trying to use terms to describe what we're experiencing. But just for listeners, sometimes I know I get clients who say, well, I have gut dysbiosis. I've been told it, or I think I do. I've read a blog or a doctor used that term with me. It's not describing anything. It's not describing the cause it's just describing the situation. Like your gut's imbalanced. Like, we don't know why, we don't know what's going on. And gut dysbiosis then is associated with symptoms, gas, bloating, maybe constipation, maybe diarrhea. Like, it can vary for every person. Distension of the abdomen, which is usually just bloating, but not all bloating has gut distension. So like your options are varied on your symptoms. And so this client's concerned about gut dysbiosis. I even recently, and I have been having friends of mine, we were all moms and we hang out, just start asking me questions about like how to help their children or family's gut health on a more like basic level, meaning like nobody's having, if there's no specific symptom we're trying to address. Cause I always ask them, I'm like, is somebody having an issue? Is there like, are you concerned about something? And sometimes they might say, well, so-and-so, such and such kid isn't pooping enough, but they'll be like, oh no, I just want to be healthy. So I do want to address that. Like, if maybe you're just trying to be healthy and you're like, how do I avoid gut dysbiosis? Or like, I think I have gut dysbiosis, or, it looks like I have symptoms. That word's been used for some reason. Why might postbiotics be helpful? The only thing that I could find is postbiotics would be helpful if your microbiome is so deficient that your own microbiome is not making sufficient postbiotics, right? Postbiotics are the after products of a microbiome. Theoretically, you should have all those postbiotics in your body sufficiently if you have a good microbiome. So giving yourself postbiotics is kind of like enabling your body to skip that part of the process. And from what I could figure, if you're going to give yourself a postbiotic, it might help, like if for some reason, like all of your gut dysbiosis symptoms are being caused because you're missing these products, which is probably not the case. Like, you're missing these products because your gut microbiome is out of balance. Well, why is your gut microbiome out of balance? It's probably not because you're deficient in taking a probiotic pill or eating fermented foods. Plenty of cultures do not eat fermented foods, and their guts are fine, y'all. Like, people eating fermented foods do not, or cultures or people who eat a lot of fermented foods do not have like all the control on the market for like the best gut health at all. But yeah, is your gut microbiome out of balance? Sure. Should what you be doing be pre and probiotics? Probably not, actually. And I'm going to get to that in a second. I do my first or second, third podcast episode was why probiotics aren't healing your gut. And I think postbiotics fit into this category of hype. And yes, maybe you're deficient in postbiotic ingredients. And so maybe it will tangentially help by lowering inflammation or giving you something you're deficient in, like a vitamin. But it's not going to fix everything. It's not going to, from the root up, say, oh, now my gut's going to start working again. I just could not find any evidence that a postbiotic would do that based off of anything I researched. And then, of course, my own thought experiments of what we're seeing work in the gut. And then I'm like, okay, if you added postbiotics and I say that from my clinic, from the hundreds of clients I've been working with for my own gut health, for my own children and my own husband, the people I have control over, like altering a little bit what they do, what I'm seeing work is not probiotics and postbiotics. I haven't even taken a postbiotics, probiotics and prebiotics. And so I would skip it. I would say it's like, I don't care like how fancy the product is. I don't see, because she didn't send me a link to the product to look at, but I cannot imagine a scenario in which someone's calling something a postbiotic and it's going to like reverse everything. And actually a really great example of this is Butyrate. So I wanted to bring that in. So I have actually seen issues with postbiotics. So I have Butyrate, for whatever reason, people have hyper-focused on and said, this is a godsend for inflammation and colon health. And it has helped people lower inflammation in the colon. However, I have had clients also take Butyrate, and this is before they work with me, and they come to me, and when I'm taking in their whole health history and intake form and symptoms, they'll say, well, I took Butyrate and I felt way worse. Like my bloating significantly increased, all this stuff. And sure enough, Butyrate, we don't know why, But butyrate for some people makes them worse. And so I even did a little bit of research there to see if there's any more information I could glean of like maybe new research has been posted on it. Basically, the theory is kind of like if you're already super inflamed, butyrate would actually, like your body's not ready for it, essentially. And so they're like, oh, for clients with like super inflamed IBD, irritable bowel disorder, like this is something they've actually observed. So I'm not saying you have to have irritable bowel disorder for it to not work for you. I've seen clients who don't, and that's Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis are two big ones. It's like a category of diseases, right? So for IBD, irritable bowel disorders, they see if someone's like really chronically inflamed and it's uncontrolled, butyrate makes them worse. They're not ready for it. But I've also seen that for people who don't have those diagnoses, and butyrate makes them worse. Even low dose butyrate. So even online, they're like, well, try a lower dose and build up. I'm like, yeah, no. So I've had a lot of clients in our program, the Better Belly Blueprint, in our group coaching forum. We've had multiple times someone comes in, their new client, and they say, hey, do you recommend butyrate? And we're like, no, you can try it. Like, because we can't control anybody. I'm like, you can try it. I just think it's going to be a waste of your money. You'll either feel worse or you won't feel better. Like, I just haven't seen people be like, wow, I took butyrate and that was what made the difference. Except for in one case, and that is sulfur sensitivity. And I'm actually going to get to sulfur sensitivity at the beginning of June. At the beginning of June, we're going to do a big sulfur sensitivity episode. We might even do 2 right now because it's a lot of content. And so stick around. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your podcast host if you haven't already, or if you like getting emails to get reminders, go to betterbellytherapies.com/subscribe and you can get on our email list. We send emails once a week for the podcast when they come out on Thursdays. So, but butyrate, I just have had so many get worse on it. I don't recommend it. And so that's just one example of a postbiotic I've seen really mixed results with. I also maybe sometimes I've seen good results with butyrate if someone's working on detoxing mycotoxins, but that I only introduce butyrate and detoxing mycotoxins, like for a mycotoxin detox, and mycotoxins are related to mold. I've only introduce butyrate like way after they've done a bunch of other protocols to clear their body and start replenishing nutrient deficiencies, things like that. So to answer this client's question or this podcast listener's question, I don't get warm fuzzies about postbiotics. It does feel very trendish to me of hype, just like buy this thing. It will do something. There is like, it's referring to real scientific concepts of postbiotics and their potential benefit, but it's like not getting to the root. So what I would recommend, what to do instead, is get to the root. Why do you have gut dysbiosis to begin with? Because once you address your gut dysbiosis, then you have enough gut, like the correct amount of healthy bacteria. They'll make their own postbiotics. You'll be fine. It'll be great. That's the goal, is that you just need like a very simple lifestyle, and you don't need lots of supplements. You don't need lots of anything. Like I don't buy new supplements. I get ads. I think I get less ads than I used to. I think they like figured out I don't respond to them or something, but this lady does not respond or ever buy our supplements we throw at her. But a lot of times they're just hype. You need much simpler methods to heal the gut. I refer to our process of finding what's going on and everything that's driving gut dysbiosis as the 5 toxin trap. And I put together a whole training on the 5 toxin trap. You can go to betterbellytherapies.com/training. You learn the 5 categories of the toxins. You learn the signs that help you identify which of the traps you're stuck in, the 3 most common mistakes keeping you stuck in each trap, because I guarantee when you hear the 5 toxin trap, you're going to be familiar with, if not all of them, most of them, and you'll probably feel like you've tried to address all of them. But there are common, like really annoying, really sad mistakes that is just like very common myth. And because I share this information so much, I just put it in a training so you can go and grab it. So go to betterbellytherapies.com/training to go get it, and it will teach you what to do instead. It will also share with you about our Better Belly Blueprint program and how it helps you address every layer of the 5 toxin trap so you avoid all of the mistakes and you finally get healing and you're not stuck on food restrictions or constantly trying different supplements for your life. And if you're listening and you're like, well, I don't really have any issues, I'm just trying to be healthy, I just say don't start with postbiotics. Like, I'll have a podcast episode on where to start there, but I think most of our listeners here are having issues. They're not feeling their best. And so that's my answer. Skip postbiotics, save some money, move on. Go find the root cause. And when you find the root cause and you address it, your body naturally takes care of itself. It has its own gardening system to help the right microbiome flourish and help bad or overgrowth to cut down and weed whack it. Your body should be a self-managing machine. So if it's not self-managing, there are things holding it back from self-managing. You remove the barriers, you give it the tools it needs, and it self-manages again. And that's what my body's doing. And even to the point that I recently reversed my dairy sensitivity that I've had for 10 years. So if you want to go, I'm going to plan to mention that, but I'm going to put that in the podcast episode show notes, how I reversed my dairy sensitivity recently and how you can too. And then, or implications on how you can too. And then I also want to include a podcast episode in the show notes on SIBO. So SIBO is a really big common issue of like bacterial overgrowth. So if that's something you're suspicious you're dealing with, or you've tried a bunch of stuff to work with, this is a kind of a adjacent topic to what we're talking about today. So I put it in the show notes. So that's it. Go to betterbellytherapies.com/training, learn about the 5 toxin trap, skip postbiotics, save a bunch of money, move on, say bye-bye. And just know that when you have good gut health, you don't need constant like new products, new fancy things, just need to eat food and enjoy life, laugh, eat lots of dessert and chocolate. I do both. I'd say like within, someone's going to be like, what? I should not have said that at the end of a podcast episode. Fine. I'll make it its own podcast episode. How I eat dessert, lots, and chocolate without gaining weight or crazy things like that. Or basically screwing up my gut. It's very possible, guys. And so, but I say that to give you a vision of like, you don't want to be thinking that just a switch, like, let me de-influence you. Like a healthy gut is not like cold plunges and saunas every day and like an hour routine. It's not realistic and it's not necessary. So if you enjoy cold plunges and saunas, like, amen, do it. Like, that's great. But, or if you don't enjoy it, but you like, do feel better, it can boost health, but it's not necessary for you to be like feel good and function every day. That's it. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Hey friend, I hope you loved this episode. If you've been a fan for a while or newly loving this podcast, can you do me a favor? Drop into Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. When you leave a review, you do so much. You help me know you're listening. You can tell me what you're loving so I know what to make more of. And you help others by boosting this podcast so other people like you can find the podcast too. I mean, it's a win-win-win, right? So if you want a way to pay it forward, just go to Apple Podcasts or click the link in my show notes and leave a rating and review. And if you want some more free stuff, just head over to my free Facebook group, betterbellytherapies.com/Facebook, and you can get access to all of my free support for you, including some Facebook group exclusive stuff like my podcast episode vault, where you can search the Better Belly podcast by topic and find exactly what you need to expedite your healing. I cannot wait to see you in there. Catch you guys next week.